Got my shaker and my boots.
I got my fishbowl martini.
And we are back again with
too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my it hurts. I'm a model, you know what I mean.
Please let him be dressed. Please let him be dressed. Please let him be dressed.
Take
It's
a little
okay.
push on the catwalk. On the catwalk. On the catwalk. Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Is that
the nunchucks? It's the nunchucks. That's his thing now. It's nunchucks. I think it's awesome.
do you know how to use those or
I do. I learned how to use them a long time ago.
what do they do for you?
Hold on. What did they do for me? I don't know. I just
This looks like the worst Harry Potter outfit ever.
Dude, can you see my shirt? Let's see if you can see this. Here, hang on.
It's like a part of the whole ensemble.
Can you see the tiger?
Oh, you are the Tiger King.
You are Joe Exotic.
I am exotic, dude. Are you
are Raffy Exotic.
I am.
Okay. I'm catching on to this.
Right, hold on.
I've still not seen the show.
There. Okay.
Oh my God.
I just haven't had time. You know, as I've said, you would think there's so much time now, and I don't know where it's going because I've got no time.
No.
What do you spend the most of your time doing? The majority.
I do my show every morning on KRTY San Jose. If you want to tune in, KRTY.com, you can stream it. And then I get off the air and I have an 8 to 10-year-old, as I've said. So usually I come home and do homeschooling. But this week it's been spring break. And, you know, with spring break, they're able to stay at home and not. Yeah, never mind. But now they're home with nothing to do. So
it's bad enough they're home.
Yes. And so Dad turns into cruise director. I'm Gopher, you know, and we have the lovely Captain Steubing back here in the back. And so, yeah, we try to come up with that every day. And, you know, you're trying to keep your kids out and you try to throw in your own mental health stuff, like working out and stuff. And then all of a sudden you cook dinner and it's 6:30, you know.
What are we having for dinner, by the way?
I got some pasta and sauce from the Grandview restaurant. And
it's
so I am.
It's very interesting, Gary, that you mentioned that. Tonight's show is brought to you by Ragu, traditional sauce. So,
what's the tagline? I can't read it.
One world style, rich and smooth.
One world.
Mm.
We are one world right now.
Style. Yeah, sauce. Anyway, they're our sponsors today.
Nobody ever has the balls to go, our sauce sucks, but we're cheap.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's it. Like that. I mean, I think that's the premise of our show. Don't forget what you're paying for this.
That's right. That's right. A big fat zero.
So how was the week? Because I'm excited about our musical guest, and we're going to bring her on here in just a minute. But I also enjoy, because this is the only time I get a chance to hang out with these guys. So how was the week, guys?
Brian, go ahead.
This week was absolutely one of my busiest weeks I've had in forever. I'm always taking some course. My wife laughs at me. So I'm taking another certification course for international coaching certificate. And that was every day this week from 9 till 1. And then I had clients from 1 till 5, and in between all that,
Brian, what do you do with you say your client? Talk us through if you were to give us a 30-second briefing on a client call or a client meeting. What are you guiding them through? Go ahead.
It's different. It's totally different for every single person. Every person is a different kind of challenge or problem to work through, whether it's in business or in life. And so I'm working with them on throw me a challenge. What's your biggest challenge this week?
Have you seen my hair?
How does that hair make you feel?
You know, as I said, I feel like you can tell, I don't know if you can tell I'm not shaving. I feel very roguish. I like that word, roguing. Roguish is working for me this week.
I thought you said Rogaine. Sorry.
I thought you said Rogaine too.
I could use that too. Thanks for pointing that out. As my son said to me a couple of weeks ago, he's like, "Dad, you're going bald on top." And I said, "Okay." He goes, "Can you just grow the hair back?"
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, give me a second. So,
did it?
It sprouts out through your ears instead of on top of your head. But carry on.
hey,
How- If I did that, I'd accidentally make a have a different kind of problem.
Rafi, how's your week been?
What are you guys drinking?
Well, I've got my standby martini. I only have one martini a week, and it's Friday at 5 o'clock with you guys. So that's why I go out and get the biggest martini glass I could possibly find. And when I do get to go over, the last person that I socialized with before this was all locked down was that guy, was Brian Kramer. And that's what we did. We had ourselves a martini. And some wine, and that's what we do. That's what and you have to say, it's so hard. I never call him Brian. His nickname amongst those of us who love him is Fokker. So not the other word, it's Fokker. And so me and the Fock, every time we get together, we usually sometimes have a cigar, but that's been a while. And but we always have a martini.
Yeah, one time we were having a cigar, and actually it was one of the first few times we were having a cigar, and I accidentally
set himself on fire.
Set myself on fire. So Gaylord Fokker became. There's a reason. That
He became Fokker.
I had brand new jeans.
And they were brand new jeans. That was the best part. They were.
And then I had a massive hole in my thigh.
Do you know how much they pay for the massive holes in their thighs now?
Hundreds.
Thigh holes are back. That's all I'm saying.
You say pie hole or thigh hole?
You know what? I'm trying to make this a family show as much as I possibly can, but he's making it all hard.
Who is?
Hard journey. I think both of you are right now. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Robbie, how was your week?
Whose week? Mine?
Yours.
Oh, I don't know. Do you want me to give you an honest answer, or do you want me to give you like some phony baloney, everything's great in my world answer? Give me one.
No, I'm up for honesty, because no matter what it is,
I'll give you honesty. So we have, so we run a DJ entertainment company, Sound in Motion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so with all this coronavirus lockdown and all that's going on, so events are being canceled or postponed or rescheduled, and so in the last few weeks, I think we're probably between three of us who are in the office, we've rescheduled, canceled, or postponed 106 events, and still going. So it's really, really, really fun. And I'm being really, really sarcastic. So our world has come to this time of year, we'd be going full speed ahead into getting into weddings and celebrating, and now it's like sitting at home watching paint dry. I mean, it's just brutal. I think we're past the how many people are going to be tragically affected by this event now. And now we're just in the argument of when and how much should we come back, and which is a much better place to be. I think that's going to be awesome that we're there. And when all of your events come back, don't forget King Rafi. He's the best in the business. And when your weddings, get your weddings all done. For you parent teachers organization who want to throw your kids late proms and late graduations, that's your guy right there. He will make it all happen, and this is all going to come back. It is, and as I gave you some people who are new to the show, I told you my thing about it. I think it's like a bathtub. I told my son this before. You pull the drain out, you don't think anything's happening. You reach in the water to see if the drain's working, and you're like, but after a while, you see the water's gone down, and then the last 3 minutes or last 3 inches of the water, you see it going like crazy. And to me, that's what we're going to do. We're waiting for the water to get close enough that we can see the drain going like crazy. And what we do, don't forget
don't forget all your needs that King Rafi can do for you.
That's right.
He truly is the best in the business.
Yes,
So,
That's awesome. Hey guys, I want to give some shout outs to some people here that are rolling through. We got so many awesome people watching tonight. We've got Perry Thomas, Brooke.
that's
Todd.
my cousin.
That's your cousin?
That's my cousin.
We've got Brooke Todd. He's over in Santa Cruz. He's my wedding
Yeah, Brooke.
He did my wedding photography. So what up, brother? We've got Courtney Smith Kramer. I that sounds familiar. I know her from somewhere.
I think you have a physical relationship with her, don't you?
I'm
not letting a cat out of a bag here, but you know,
it's more the mental. Let's go there.
yeah, I don't think it's platonic. Is what I think you've passed the platonic stage.
We're not cousins.
We also have to say hi to my friend Jeanette Lund. Jeanette Lund, who former Cupertino High School native, and a big fan of funk, as in like Lakeside, the Gap Band, Cameo, Rick
No
James.
wonder she tuned in. Here I am.
You see? You
Yeah.
are all funk up.
You know, I see one of my old high school classmates, Holly Lofton. Holly, how are you? He is, you know, it's amazing. He's an artist now. He makes jewelry.
Wow.
And you know, who's this little small town in Alabama, and these so different little things. And like I said, I've seen some of his work online, and it's just he does a lot of Native American study jewelry, and it's stunning. So, buddy, it's good to hear from you. It's good to see you.
We've got Michelle Angela Samas. I think I'm saying your last name right. And she says, "Love you all," and we love you back. James Becker, Janice Shannon. Let's see. And then we've also got Jessica Cross Trailer, Mahaley Thomas. Isn't that has to be a cousin or
that's my sister?
That's
my
sister.
sister.
Okay. There's
and
a lot
I think
of
my other
Thomases
sister Judy is on. Well, Judy Lowry's on. That's my other sister.
Oh my gosh,
I have
it's a family
four
show.
sisters. I have 4 sisters, my friend.
Oh my
Count
god.
them.
How did you do that?
Well, I live in California, and they all live far away. So no, I looked out. I've got the best sisters on the planet. I'm not just saying that because it's all of them. I enjoy and delight in each and every one of them, and they're all just so unique and fun. And the funny thing of it is they're all smarter than me. And I'm not saying that to be politically correct. They truly are. So it's just fun being around them because I do enjoy, as crazy as it sounds, I always enjoy being the dumbest guy in the room. I really do. And I'm not saying that just to be cute. If I'm surrounded by smart people, and I count you guys, it just makes me feel better. It just makes me feel like, wow, I'm going to just suck stuff up from you guys. I mean, I am just through osmosis. I'm going to pull things in. So
speaking of pulling things in, a lot of people are watching this inside of my H2H hub. I'm streaming this into the hub, and it's a Facebook group that is helping people out with how to be more human in business, especially with everything that's going on. If anybody would like to join, it's free to join, and you can join at www.hub.com. And Jennifer Quinn and let's see, Courtney is in there, and we've got a whole bunch of people streaming in there. So feel free to join there, and the conversation will keep going. Anyway, we've got some really cool. Angus Nelson is in there. All kinds of fun people. So please feel free to join up.
And if you're ready, I am so excited about this because to bring on our musical guest, I have said this before. I've interviewed so many people, I've had people on the air because what we do for a living. But this is the first time in my life that I can say that we're having a professional singer, a professional artist who's got cred, who is established and who's got buzz around her aplenty. And I can say I have known her in utero. I have known her entire life. I am so excited for us to bring on Hannah Bowers to the program tonight. Look at that.
Hi,
Look at that.
A long way from the uterus.
Yes. Hannah's mother. Hannah's mother is the legendary morning talented Kara, Kim Vestal. And her father is Craig Bowers. Now, you may not know Craig's name like you know Kim's name, but trust me when I tell you, you know Craig's voice. He is possibly, in my opinion, one of the top 5 voice guys in the state of California, which would make him one of the top 5 voice guys in the country. I mean, and so I've always wanted to ask you, Hannah, because I've never had a chance to talk to you, because both you and your brother Sam are in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because, you were growing up with your mother hanging out with Mickey Dolenz from the
Yeah.
Monkees and stuff, Davy
Yeah.
Jones.
Totally. My brother and I got that question a lot growing up. And something that we talk about now is that we didn't know how weird it was back then. Like, we would see our mom emceeing events, being out on stage, like with people, talking to people, being goofy on stage. And I think it gave my brother and I permission to go be goofy on stage, because that's what we both are like trying to make a living doing. So we didn't know it was weird at all. I thought it was completely normal, that she interviewed people and that I would go to the radio station and then see all the people like Gary talking on the air live. And that was just baked into that was what my childhood was. It was normal for me. I didn't think anything of it.
Well, it's amazing because I will tell you this story. I remember when you were a teenager and I was talking to Kim one day and she goes, "Hannah's singing." And I said, "Really?" Because when people say that, you're always like, but I'm like, "So how's that going?" And Kim, and if anybody knows Kim Vestal, everybody does a Kim Vestal imitation if you know her. And she goes, "I don't know, Gary. I think she's really, really good. And I don't know if I'm really, really good at spotting it, or maybe I have no clue whatsoever."
That's a really good impression of my mother.
Wow. Wow.
And she and I remember the first time I got to hear you because she sent me something, and I'm like, "Kim, she's really, really good. It's not you." Yeah, because when it's your child, you're so worried that you're building them up, or you're too critical.
Yeah.
And so it's just been a delight for her. It's been a delight for all of us who've got to watch you grow up and become this really, really good artist. I mean, not only just a performer, but I mean, as you'll find out when she sings for us, an artist.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy to be sharing it with you guys and giving me a space to be an artist and to sing publicly for people and share my music with people, because I can't be live anymore. I know people are missing going to shows, and the musicians are missing playing shows. However, a lot of touring musicians are bummed because they are not making a living anymore. But all of that aside, it's like we just miss it because of the feeling that you get when you share your music with people
On stage, the interaction.
Yeah, well, and even if this is a stage right now, there's somebody on.
Yeah, but the engagement. But Hannah, when you're sitting on stage, you're looking out at the crowd. You get a reaction, right? You see a smile. You get the cheers. You get the adrenaline. I love you. You sound great. But all that good stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, luckily, I'm looking at you guys, so.
See.
And I will cry at the drop of a hat. So if you play something, if you rip my heart out, I'll show it to you.
I think we got all the emotions in the set list tonight.
Oh, good.
Well, I can't wait for you guys to hear this because, like I said, I have been a fan of Hannah's for a while. And when Brian told me we got you to sing, I was just thrilled. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear this young woman. Hannah, if you're ready, Hannah Bowers, right now.
Here we go. All right. This is a song I wrote called Second Thoughts. Two names, two different colors around my neck. I broke my bones for you. Two heartless girls, two reminders. This is for what's best. So, second thoughts. It's in my nature now. You didn't call me if you had. You didn't speak for all that you need to say is that free mind, freezing thought that I once had, but I couldn't spend on you. Too rich in the head, you built me up in, yet too smoke. So, second thoughts.
If I had known it wasn't true, then I'd be in debt to you. But I can't forget you, and I couldn't tame you. Well, now, ooh, I couldn't blame you. Now, 1, 2, 3, so ooh, second thoughts. It's in my nature. You didn't call me if you had. You couldn't speak for all that you need to say instead. You couldn't speak for all that you need to say. That night you couldn't speak for all that you need to say instead.
Do you see why I was so
Ooh.
excited? Do you see now? See, I wasn't blowing smoke. I mean,
did-
isn't that amazing? And again, I agree with Courtney, who said it just a second. Whistling on demand
Yeah.
is one of the hardest things you will ever do.
Yeah, I learned as a child that I could whistle. I was watching a childhood TV show called Dragon Tales, and I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. It was
Dragon Tales.
Dragon Tales. Yeah, it was a cartoon
Yeah.
cartoon show.
Yeah, I remember it.
It was really great. And
Dragon Tales, Dragon
Dragon
Tales.
Dragon Tales.
Dragon.
And I was learned, just pick it up. They were learning to whistle on the show, and I was like, I want to do that. And they taught you how to whistle, and I was lucky because I think I was just born with the gift of whistling. My mom is actually a really good whistler, and so I just kept practicing, and then I started whistling, and then I realized I was really good at it. And so that's
Don't ever stop.
That's my thing now.
That should be on every album you do from now on. At some point in your album, you should have one song where you whistle.
There is. I can promise you that. I have a lot of people compare me to Alanis Morissette, and which I love. I love her. And people say that my whistling is Alanis's harmonica.
Oh.
Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you, because to me in your artistry, and I know this is going to sound stupid, and I do not mean it to be stupid,
I love it.
but one of the things that I've always enjoyed about your singing, and this is going to come off crazy, but hopefully you'll understand, is your diction is perfect.
Cool.
That I can understand every single word. I'm telling you, there's so many times I've seen singers will be like, doing the Bob Dylan thing. And you're going, there's nobody who listens to a Bob Dylan song the first time through and goes, I got every word. I mean, they just don't. And even as much as I know, I'm probably speaking heresy right now. Eddie Vedder, you have to listen to it 3 times before you understand what Eddie Vedder said, right? And I love exactly that. Whenever I hear your song for the first time, I get all the words.
Oh, that's great.
And maybe that's your mother and father from growing up in a business where talking was important. But man, that is such a cool thing that you do that I don't know if you're aware of.
I was not aware of it. Thank you. That's a very cool compliment that I'm going to remember for a long time because it's very unique.
Well, it's because the words matter, especially the music that you do.
Yeah.
You paint such really very cool pictures with your words. Some of your songs, the whole thing, it creates this mood. And if you can't hear the words, you're not getting the majority of the song.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the words. I love the lyric writing of a piece of music. And I think you're right in that I was influenced by my parents in like pronouncing things very well, because I with the studio that I have outside, I would just walk in, or I'd be sitting in there. They'd be like, hold on, I'm recording something. And you hear them over and over again, repeat the same things and until it sounds perfect. And then a lot of coughing and clearing your throat. And playing the song. So I'm surrounded by people that are enunciating for a living. So I think that's a huge.
I'm telling you, it is. I think it's a very undersold thing for singers, and I'm always, I love it when a singer sings and you catch the songs, because there was that while in the late '90s, early 2000s where it became kind of cool to slur the words.
Yeah.
Right. And so everybody did the Kingsman. Nobody to this day still knows what the hell they're saying on Louie Louie. Nobody. But when you get to hear the words, especially, but then again, with Louie Louie, you didn't need to hear the words. All you were
I was going to say, what's the point? Who cares?
I think it was "We Gotta Go." That's how they said it, right?
Who knows? Let me have 3 more of these and I'll interpret it for you.
Can we send out some props right now?
Let's do
Bravo, Hannah, from Brian Adams. And Karen, my wife, chimes in, says, so great. Matt Saul says, this is great. Thanks, Gary.
I had so little to do with it, Matt, but thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. Take credit where, even if you just showed up, just take credit for it. Who cares? Let's see. Every karaoke session I've ever had is me slurring the words. Courtney, you might want to try water before doing karaoke.
No, don't you ever take the firewater away from Courtney before she sings. Don't you ever do that.
That's awesome. Oh man, everyone doing all right with what are you having? Water, Hannah?
Water, yeah, just hydrating.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then you know what? Why don't you go ahead and hit one of we were talking yesterday when Hannah and I were speaking about today. Said, do you have any fun songs that you like to do that are not yours? And tell us a little bit about what you're doing on Instagram on a daily right now, and then you can take it right into the song that you're going to play.
Okay, cool. So I really missed playing songs for people. Singing is something that I love doing, and I miss that connection that I have with others when I perform. And so I got inspired to sing a song for somebody on my Instagram account. She said something that reminded me of a song. So I was like, I'm going to dedicate a song for you on Instagram. And I sang Collide by Howie Day. And that actually got several other people. I was like, if you have a song that you want me to sing, I open the floor to you all to give me suggestions. And then once I said that, the suggestions kind of started pouring in. And so every day I have this kind of running list of song suggestions. And I've been playing all these covers for people on my Instagram. The vast majority of them are from before 2003, because I think that's my vibe. And that's what the people want to hear. And so I've been singing a different cover song every day for these.
So what are we doing now? What's your song that you're going to sing for us now?
So this is one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite bands of all time, and that is Santeria by Sublime.
Okay.
Cool. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. Well, I had $1 million, but I'd spend it all if I could find that Hannah and that Sancho that she's found. Well, I'd pop a cap in Sancho and I'd slap her down. What I really wanna know, my baby, what I really wanna say, I can't define. Well, it's love that I need. Oh, my soul will have to wait till I get back and find a Hannah of my own. Daddy's gonna love one and all. Oh, and I feel the break, I feel the break, I feel the break, and I gotta live it up. Oh, yeah. Well, I swear that what I really wanna know, my baby, what I really wanna say, I can't define. God, love, make it go. Oh, my soul will have to
Yeah, what I really wanna say, my baby. What I really wanna say is I've got mine way back in on me. Yeah. I tell Sanchito that if he knows what is good for him, he best go running high. Daddy's got a new 45, and I won't think twice to stick that barrel straight down Sancho's throat. Believe me when I say that I got something for his punk ass. What I really wanna know, my baby, what I really wanna say is there's just one way back in on me. Yeah. My soul will have to wait. Yeah.
There we go.
Woo! Awesome. Loved it.
Thank
Wow.
you.
You know, Sublime back in the day played at the Edge nightclub in Palo Alto. I want to say the early,
The Edge.
Edge of Palo Alto on California Street.
Wow.
1993, right around there, 93, when that album first came out.
That was the only club that let you in when you were 18, but you got a stamp.
All
So you
ages.
knew where the people that could drink were, and you knew who was under 21. And I was always like, man, I can't wait to be a stamp. I can't wait to have a stamp. And I'm like, I was so sad.
Yeah, that was a great version. That was an awesome version of that song. Way to go.
I wish I
Loved
had
it.
seen Sublime live. That would have been amazing. He's such a big musical influence to me. That whole band,
Yeah.
Brad Knoll, especially as a vocalist, one of the most talented vocalists.
Yep,
In my
absolutely. Hey, can we send a couple shout outs to some people here?
Go for it.
Awesome. All right. So my sister-in-law, both of them, one in Studio City is checking in, and the other one, Sue, is she's in New Zealand and listening to us. What time is it in New Zealand, I wonder? Sue, why don't you tell us what time it is in New Zealand? And anyway, so she's tuned in. We got our friend Cindy Bullock. And then one of my great friends, Catherine McDaniel, who is a rocket scientist. Do you guys know rocket scientists? Does anyone know a true rocket scientist?
I dated a rocket scientist in college.
You did?
Yes,
Did
who
you?
had missions. She's had missions on NASA. The one thing I have never been able to resist in my entire life is brains. I can resist everything but brains. And so that's the one thing I'm proud of. If you look at the litany of my failed relationships, it was all very smart women with very low standards. And that was my sweet spot. And luckily with my wife, I got her pregnant as soon as I could.
Hey. Oh my God. How did this goes downhill? It's like, crap.
It's a true story, though. It's a true story. I mean, that's the one thing I've never been able to resist. It's just there is something about smarts that just works.
What did you learn from dating a rocket scientist? You must have gleaned something.
Math. A lot of math. and they don't handle pressure a lot. You know, I mean, we think we have pressure, but when you're talking about if you get a 100th of a decimal point wrong, things blow up. That's pressure. You know, I'm worried about saying somebody's name wrong.
That's how I feel with cigars.
Which is exactly why we're over here and they're out figuring out the world. And by the way, it's 12:30 on a Saturday in New Zealand, where my sister-in-law is right now.
Nice.
How is Saturday looking, by the way? And I want to say hey to Ingela down in San Diego, who recently, she's one of our locals who recently moved down south. Who else? Oh, Bob Hazelton. Bob and I met at Corcoran State Prison some years ago, and we've stayed friends. It's been great. So we have a lot of great stories together.
That's a story that I don't
want to
want
hear
to know
that
anymore. No, I don't. I don't want to hear another word.
We
about
got
that
plenty of time.
Tonight's show is going 2 hours. Tonight's show is 2 hours. We're going extra.
So many of my relatives, Carol Thomas, whatever. My niece Robin, who's a nurse in Florida. Sweetheart,
No way.
thank you so much.
Thanks to the
She's
nurses.
my friend Shannon in Newfoundland, Canada. And you want to talk about trying to figure out the time there? Who knows? It's like, I don't know, 8, 9, 12, 14 hours. And it's Canada. You don't think anything about it, but it's way off.
And I see my wife, Courtney Smith Kramer. She's here.
Yeah. And a guy you used to work with, Jerry Foster and Kiana Marie, who moved to Arizona. Thank you.
Brad Friedman. There he is. I love Brad. He's in Colorado.
Yeah. Hey, if the glove don't fit, what does it go? How does it go?
Are you just wearing one of those?
Is that?
Yeah, I'm wearing one. I'm half sanitary.
Is that from your prison days?
No, that one. The one from prison days I can't find.
You know, I think it's time for another song.
Here we go.
What a transition.
Because we are so lucky to have a very talented person singing for us with a great stream. So we've had no streaming problems. And I don't know why. Again, I'm taking so much pride in her, like I had anything to do with it, but I'm still taking pride in her. And
you sound like a father, Gary. You sound like a father.
Feel like a father because
I'm starting to have pride.
Life. And I am just so thrilled by this young woman.
He's
I really
gushing.
am.
He's gushing.
I am. I'm totally gushing. I'm totally doing that. But we need to have her sing another song. Hannah Bowers is who this is. And please, if you could throw another song at us, man, we're ready for it.
I'll give you an original.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. This is the part where it looks like I'm talking to myself, but I know that you're out there listening, and for some reason I can feel that. So this is a song that I wrote. Usually I talk about my songs on stage, and it's different because I feel like I'm talking to somebody, and I don't see you right now, but I still feel like I'm talking to you. So I wrote this song when I was having a bit of an identity crisis that you have in your early 20s, and that I think you don't stop having in a lot of ways. And I think it's very relatable no matter where you are in life, just when you start to feel like maybe you've lost yourself a little bit, and maybe you're doing things that you wouldn't usually do, and you're questioning yourself a little bit, and you're like, who am I? So this is a song I wrote called Know Ourselves. Met her Saturday, I left her shortly after that. I found you in a better place and lost you in the aftermath. What happened after that? You say you're happy, what am I supposed to say to that? If I'm not happy, then what happens next? What happens after that? She was sweet and she was something, but honey, we were something else, and we don't even know ourselves. You can't believe in me for nothing, and maybe it's not working out, but I don't even know myself. Her eyes are pretty, but her mind's not really evident. We spend the night alone, but time's not really relevant when I'm missing you. I'm missing you. I'm missing you. She was sweet and she was something, but honey, we were something else, and we don't even know ourselves. You can't believe in me for nothing, and maybe it's not working out, but I don't even know
I couldn't hear you over. Likewise, you need time to think it over. And the sunrise right out my face, right out my face, and I couldn't hear. She was sweet, she was something, but honey, we were something else, and we don't even know ourselves. You can't believe in me for nothing, and maybe it's not working out, but I don't even know myself. Oh, I don't even know myself, and we don't even know ourselves.
Wow.
See what I'm
Oh my
talking
gosh,
about?
that is
Her-
so amazing.
Her
Where did
mind
that
wasn't
song?
evident. Wasn't that a great line? Her mind wasn't evident. Oh man.
Evident. Yeah, I know.
That's such a great again, that's what I go back to when you need to be able to hear it. What a
Yeah.
great line. Her mind wasn't evident.
I don't
Yeah.
think Rafi's mind right now
Is evident.
is evident.
What? I've aged in the last
You
4
know,
minutes.
the fact that you have a white wig.
Yeah,
know-
you got a lot of wigs.
Well, you know,
I guess
like
it
to
was
live
from the
life on
time in
edge.
prison.
His mind wasn't that evident.
Oh, please, please.
Now,
God,
Hannah, I have to
come on.
ask you,
Yeah.
did you write that about anybody in particular, or was it just a made-up person?
No, that's actually an incredibly specific song. A lot of my songs.
Okay.
I
Now,
wrote-
do they know you wrote it about them?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Well, sort of. I mean, it's about two people, right? It's about the girl whose mind's not evident
Uh-huh.
and the other girl. The
But
other-
I mean, but aren't you the other girl? I
The
mean,
other
that's what I'm
one-
asking. Is that I mean, because I find that fascinating, especially if they don't know. At some point you think they would, because
I
we
think
all follow.
Yes, yeah. I think when you, I mean, like think of like the chorus is right, is like, honey, we were something else. It's like they're like, you know, that person was like, true, we were. You know, they're gonna know and they're gonna hear it. and-
Everybody follows their exes, Hannah, is my point. So
Yeah.
at some point,
Yeah.
I'm thinking she goes, "Hey, is that me?"
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I wrote a whole album sort of about somebody once, and I'd had to tell her that because I was like, you're gonna know.
Hey, listen, there's something wonderful about taking your own pain and your own angst. I think that's where artistry for a lot of people truly lies. Whether you're Van Gogh, whether you're Clint Black in the country world, I mean, being able to take that angst and turn it into something that everybody can relate to
Yeah.
is cool.
So I have a question, Hannah.
Yeah.
When you're sitting down and you're writing, what's your process like? How do you are you in the supermarket all of a sudden and you just go, oh, I got it?
Yeah, I mean, actually, if you just saw my phone, all of the voice memos that I have that start out as songs of me in an inappropriate place to write a song, and it's just me whispering into the phone, like "You're sweet, sweet something," like just like in a supermarket or something. So a lot of times, I'm a very like melody hits me like out of nowhere, and lyrics kind of the words kind of jump out at me too. So I will get an idea just walking around doing something, and it feels like I'm being like hit by something. Like it is the feeling of like something weighing you down. And my roommates have experienced it. My parents have experienced it. That feeling of me being like, I gotta go write a song. You know, it's like you're about to have like a mental breakdown or something. You're like, I can't be here right now. I need.
I would imagine that might be happening more now. Is that only because we're like in in silence lockdown? Is it
I'd say
is
it's
that
happening just as much, actually.
as much? Okay.
Just as much. Yeah, because I work from home usually, and I work from home still now. So even though I'm going out less, I'm still home a lot for both times. So yeah, but it's always going. Like I've written a lot of songs this week, actually.
I think it'd be
Can I-
really cool if actually one of the things we were talking about before we came on here is you also work in the emotional intelligence and other things. What kinds
Yeah.
of things are you? You're like you're busier than all of us combined. Like the things that you were telling me about, I was like, I'm worth not. What the heck am I
Aw.
doing? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm a big mental health advocate. That's always been something that I've cared about. And it started with me learning to meditate, and then got super into mindfulness, and I started working with a music producer that was also really into mindfulness. So then we started working on projects together, and then I now produce a podcast of his that's on music and mindfulness and mental health and mental health in general, but also mental health in the music industry, because that's
Mhm.
a place that people are really struggling.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that in that space, and then I started working for an emotional intelligence company called 6 Seconds, and they're all super nice. And I got that because I I was obviously very interested in this work, and I talk about mental health a lot, and I do all sorts of creative projects with it, and I write about it. And then a cousin of mine actually worked there, and she was like, "Work for us. Like, this is what we do every day. Like, come work for us." So I started working for them. And just today, I was saying, right before I got onto this, I was teaching a class on music and mindfulness and emotional intelligence, and how all three of them are related and how they can all better your life.
What a cross intersection of three things
Yeah.
coming in and joining in the most perfect place possible. When you first told me that when we first got on, my mind was blown. I always thought of the three as completely separate things. I never pieced them together. It's so
So much
important.
connection. So much connection.
Man.
Hey,
And when you're able, yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was
Finish
just
your
going
thought.
to talk
Finish your
about
thought.
connection. I got really excited because when you realize the perspective that you have in all these different areas is the same, it's going to make every area better. Like, oh, my decision making process is the same as my songwriting process, is the same as my meditation process. And
Well, there you go. It's all a big win. And you know what? Really quick for you, Hannah. Julie writes, woohoo, great song, Buying Now. So you sold a grand total of one song that we know about right now.
Yes.
Carolyn writes, George Roffington for my help, I guess. So that's very nice. Thank you. And who else here? Got a lot of viewers. Loretta's in, Melanie's in, Bob's in, Cheryl, Eddie. Gosh, everyone's popping
Some of
in.
my cousins, Joyce, Kimberly, Kettleholt, Colorado.
Yep.
Thank you.
I've embarrassed my wife, I guess. She said, what the heck's up with my, oh my God, really? Okay, well, I'm just gonna get rid of it.
Well, and that's the other thing that I'm glad you brought it up, because you talk about the mental health thing, because really in the entertainment industry that nobody wants to talk about, you spend the majority of your time being rejected or criticized. You do. And whether it doesn't matter what part of the entertainment you get in. And so I'm so glad that you're standing up and making that a focal point, because I've always thought that there's not been enough resources for a lot of young kids, because a lot of young kids your age and younger, and even all the way up to 30, 35, go through this really hard process. And there's certain people who understand like what you're going through, but there's not a lot. And the fact that they can find somebody to share that with and to express it with, and also to help them find a mental strength, I think that's amazing.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, I think I was inspired. I don't know if you guys have heard this quote before, but I've heard it thrown around a lot. Is be the person that you needed when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I'm doing with my music. Because I remember I struggled a lot as a teen, and depressed and didn't understand why. And the music that I was listening to, the musicians that I looked up to, I didn't think that they were very good role models for me. You know, I think they were people that romanticized sadness. They were people that were like, well, there's no solution, so you know, I'm just gonna
Wah, wah, wah.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Boo,
so,
hoo, hoo. Move along. Let's go.
exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you've been able to bottle up all of that and put it into your music as well and help others. That's a good thing. Gary, when you said mental health, I thought you were talking about when I was doing my hair. I thought you were referencing me there for a moment. I apologize.
No, it has nothing to do with your fascination with nunchucks. No, that's completely healthy, and
Oh,
a good
God.
sign for. I'm sure your wife is really calling the lawyer. Is probably
You're right. Hey,
She's
by
like,
the way, we have a
why are we stuck in
return
Spain?
sponsor. Hold on. Heitcom Honey is back another week. They sold a bottle and a half last week after our show.
Really?
So they're back.
how much they paid for it. That's a win.
Yeah. A
So
bottle
that
and a half. This is
Are you
just a
sure
big-
that's honey? It looks like urine.
Oh, dude. Really? You
how
had to
do,
go there.
how do we get to these places?
Look at me. Innocent me.
Hannah
Talking
and
about
I,
Heitcom Honey.
Hannah and I are trying to have adult conversations.
Wait, who?
I said Hannah and I
Oh,
are having
you. Oh, got it.
conversations, and the rest of you are going. Does that honey look like pee? I mean,
Well, I was just trying to be a good advocate for one of our great local supporters here, but Brian had to drive right off the road and just take it right down.
this is it's
I want to hear more music.
I think it's just so much fun, and that's what I'm saying is, and I know we're asking you to do song after song after song because we're trying to get as much of you in as before the hour is up. And so, whatever you want this to be your last song, you pick, and whatever. I'm not even looking at what's happening on the screen right now. But if I could just get one more song from Hannah Bowers, and you can find her at hannahbowers.com. And like I said, I have to tell you this one story because after Kim had your older brother, Sam, right? She's like, that's it. We're never having children again. I'm never going through that process ever again, ever and ever. And she was about 8 months swole with fetus, as I like to call it, with Hannah, right? And she was complaining because she was like, I'm so swole, blah, 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 blah. And I said, what happened to you never having another child again? And she gave the most Kim Vestal-ish answer ever. She goes, I forgot.
Your Kim Vestal impersonation is amazing.
Because I love your mother and always have, and I love your father and I always have. What you gonna pick?
Can I say one thing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, you know what, Hannah, and I would, you guys talked a lot about this whole thing, and I just figured a good friend, Eddie Cotillion, who works in the fashion industry and entertainment, he wrote on the topic of rejection in the industry, goes, we teach especially young people at an early age before getting into the business to understand that rejection is part of the auditioning process. We teach them not to take it personally, that there's nothing wrong with them. That's a
cool.
fantastic. Couldn't be said better, Eddie. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. That's my whole time at
Look,
home.
Yep.
another guy who's known you your entire life, Tony Grebmeyer, Tony G, Hannah. He said hello.
Hi, Tony. Good to have you.
So what's going to be your last song? What's your pick, Hannah?
Well, I'm gonna sing another cover song to balance it out.
Okay.
It is one of my
Do whatever you want, Hannah.
Really? You want me to do whatever I
Do
want?
whatever you want. I don't-
want. It's your call.
Whatever you
Go
want.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm not gonna sing a cover song.
Okay. Do whatever makes you happy to do it.
Okay. This is an original song. And if you want to hear it again, it's on YouTube. A live performance of it. And yeah, hannahbowers.com for those of you that like websites. Hannah Bowers on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I'm everywhere. And this is the last song that I released to the public, even though it's not you can't buy it yet. You can buy it soon. And this song is super fun for me. I wrote it when I walked by this beautiful woman on the street, and I just immediately fell in love, because that's the type of person that I am. And she has no idea. I don't even remember what she looks like, but I wrote a whole song inspired by her. It's called Bad Behavior. Very, very bad. Bad. Very, very bad. I got a big heart, you can rent a room. It's got thick walls and space for you. I keep a few vacant spots unlocked for the next cute girl who walks down my block. I'm falling all over the place, and I'd pay for your way. Calling in sick day and use up my savings just to hear your voice scream my name. Please say it again with emphasis, in between a couple of expletives. Coming out your cage, exorcist, hot buzz and cool beverages. New dates and new memberships. Sign up for a friend. This one comes with benefits. Sick. I wanna see what you think about me. I wanna see how you feel around me. I wanna hear how you speak. Talk about me. Talk about me. Like blah blah blah. Talk, talk. It's like blah blah blah. Everything about you is a mystery. The more I try, the less it makes sense to me. I get goosebumps when you're standing next to me. I get confused when you treat me extra friendly. Your next enemy, your next ex, or extraordinarily great sex. Best but not second, bet your ass on it. Call you in a minute, call you in the morning. Yo, I wanna see what you think about me. I wanna see how you feel around me. I wanna hear how you speak. Talk about me, yeah. Talk about me and put your words on a string. Pull me in by your fingers. Tie me up real good for bad behavior. Bad. Bad. Put your words on a string. Pull me in by your fingers. Tie me up real good. Put your words on a string. Pull me in by your fingers. Tie me up. Tie me up. Tie me up. Bad behavior. I wanna see what you think about me. Yeah, I wanna see how you feel around me. Yeah, I wanna hear how you speak. Talk about me. Yeah. Bad behavior.
Yeehaw! Yeah!
I'm so glad you did the original. That was such a fun song. I'm so glad you did the original, and I'm glad we got almost all original songs from you tonight, because you need to be heard. You are something, and I don't say that just because I know you and your parents. I've said this. I was telling Brian, since you were 15, you've had this. We've known there was something different about you and your abilities, and I'm just so thrilled by you.
Can you remember I want to like when I come up and you're like really big, I just want to come up and see you and just all I'm asking
You
is
want a
just like
ticket?
a ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. You're on the list every
Yeah.
time.
Because you're gonna be big.
Every time.
I will always just do your mother invitation to you. That's all I'll go. Oh, Hannah, we're so proud of you.
You guys are
What
awesome.
is that?
And you know we should reach out to the people that were with that, and because Hannah's a local artist. I mean, you're at your mom's house in Santa Cruz, right?
Yep.
See, Santa Cruz Mountains. That's
See that
awesome.
tree? See that tree back there?
Yeah, and
You
so
don't have those in LA.
for you local artists and stuff, and regional artists or whatever, please get a hold of Brian Kramer, who's the guy who makes all of this magic happen, and reach out to us because we'd love to feature. We've had some amazing guests, and it's just been crazy. And Hannah, you just knocked it out of the park tonight. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you very much. You guys are incredibly supportive, and this was very fun. And thank you everybody that is listening and watching, and the nice comments. Every time I saw something, I smiled. I also love Hobo Johnson, to whoever said that.
That was Logan. Logan, also a local. He actually lives in the I think it's Boulder Creek, Felton area. So he's a guitarist. He's a cool dude. Logan's one guy who works with us in our company, in fact. So great guy. So very, very good. Hannah, you rock. Thank you so much for being here and joining us. And maybe we can do it again down the road. It'd be really, really fun. And so maybe what we do is once we're all back to normal and doing shows, she can give us when she gets back down to LA and if she's playing or whatever, we can give you a nice big fat plug. How's that?
That sounds great. And when I come on tour, I'll make a pit stop and you guys can come. We'll do this in person.
Please do. I would love, because I haven't seen her since I told her before we went on the air. I haven't seen her since she was like 12 years old. So I got to miss all the teenage angst years. So she's been nothing but a beautiful, wonderful, sweet child to me this entire time. And now I get the outside. I missed the entire teenage years. And now I have this beautiful, sweet young woman who's just talented. So I missed all of those, when Craig, her father, was going, ah! I missed all of that.
That's also
I feel like I'm Blake Shelton, and I want you to pick me as your judge.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Team Fokker.
Blake, I don't watch the show. Otherwise, I would label the other. Nick Jonas.
You got to be on that show. You're going to be on the show, so you should probably watch one.
Yeah.
You're breaking my country heart right now.
I'd rather,
you know that.
I'd rather be on Songland.
Oh, Songland's so good.
Do you know who's a good friend of mine? Do you know and I'm not just saying this. Do you know who's a good friend of mine? Shane McAnally.
Oh,
Shane
really?
McAnally is a very good friend of mine. So I'm just saying.
He's a good friend to have.
Yes, he is. Just saying.
Just for his last name. Say that. 10
Shane.
times.
Oh, Shane is when Shane comes and does shows for us, and every time he goes out on stage, and me and my wife sit back with his husband Michael, and we just sit back in the back and share kids' pictures because we're like, yeah, whatever, Shane, just whatever.
Wow.
and we just hang out and share kids' pictures because that's what we do. So it's going to be fun. I guess we should get off. I told you my family thinks I talk too loud when I do these, so I should get off.
Oh, stop it. All right. Well, I think are we calling it a wrap, guys and
We
girl?
are.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, everyone.
Can I slip in one more sponsor?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
I mean, it kind of piggybacks to what Gary was asking about the gloves. Uline Glove Company, big box of gloves. You never know when you might need them, and especially during these times, you can never have enough gloves. And I just got this shipment in just about right in the middle of one of her songs. So anyway, thank you, Uline. And Gary, if you need a set, let me know. I'll give you one.
I do. I went to the store today and I did not have gloves, and I felt hand shamed because they looked at me like, you didn't have gloves? And I'm like, no, yeah, I don't. I have my mask, but I don't have gloves.
You know what I would want? I want finger gloves.
They have them. Go to like Rite Aid at the counter. They have these little.
I'm just hitting the ATM, and all I want is just one finger.
You know what? They
instead of like
for,
every.
Have you had the physical yet?
No.
On that note, good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. No, you're number one. You're number one.